Hello and welcome to my motorbike shed. If you're a regular viewer of the channel, you will recognize this space. It is where I spend a lot of time when I'm not on the bike and where I try and sometimes fail to do an awful lot of work on my own machines. It's a small enough space. It's 3 meters by 5. I've had the shed now for about 4 years, maybe 5 years at this point. And long-time viewers of the channel will remember what it started out as. When COVID hit, I did a very boring video about a man painting the shed where, that was the start of the process. And COVID, one of the few benefits was I actually had the time to put into this space. And over the years, it has changed and it's grown and it's adapted to suit my needs. And I was in here the other day and I thought, hey, there's a lot of little things in here that didn't cost a lot of money that other people might be interested in hearing about. So this video is 5 things for your shed under €50. I hope it helps. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to show you is these power sockets with USB slots on them as well. These are brilliant. So you can see I have quite a few sockets in the shed. I've 4 doubles here. I've more over there, some over there. But for the workbench, I needed to have as many power points as possible. And it sounds silly, but I've actually used all of these at one time at the same time. So it's been great to have. But about a year into the shed, I upgraded 2 of these sockets to have USB ports on them. And honestly, they're brilliant. So it means you can charge like action cameras, multiple action cameras, while keeping the actual 3-pin socket plugs free for other stuff that cannot take USB power. These were, I'd say, 15 or 16 euro from Screwfix Direct back in the day. Now I had a look and they've gone up to 20, 23 euro, but you can get them for under 10 euro in places like Woodies and various DIY shops. And they're the exact same specs, the 3.1 amp at 5 volts output. And yeah, absolutely brilliant little piece of kit. Highly recommend them. Now, one of the most underrated things in the shed is a whiteboard. This was actually more expensive than I thought it was going to be. This was almost 50 quid. I think it was about 44 euro, including delivery from a place down the road here. But absolutely brilliant bit of kit. This is a magnetic whiteboard, so you can take notes and stuff and magnet stuff to it so it doesn't go missing. But this is fantastic for quick writing and quick notes on what you're doing. So if you're working on the bikes and you need to order stuff, or you need, I don't know, just to scribble something down real quick about what work you're doing, this is fantastic. And compared to like writing it down on a piece of paper or pulling out your phone and taking a note. So here you can see this was when I was, these are notes from when I was setting up the suspension for the H2. So I did the standard, soft settings, hard settings, and then I was testing, different combinations to see what was working for me. So again, nice big whiteboard, easy to check, easy to glance at very quickly. And yeah, every shed should have one of these. Now, onto the tool wall. And you'll notice that all of the tools I have quick access to are secured with these magnetic bars. These were like €8 for a double pack. This one is from Lidl, that's the Parkside brand. And these ones were, these are Ali, these are Powerfix. So for €8, 2 magnetic bars screwed to the wall, I have access to all my pliers, spanners, anything I kind of regularly grab, I have mounted here. And you can see like they're holding, that's not a light spanner, they hold quite a bit of weight, so they're very impressive. A good bit of magnet power behind them. And for the sake of like what, €16 for 4 strips to have very quick access to your frequently used tools, these are a no-brainer. Again, another thing I think every shed should have. Now, this is a concrete-based shed, and that's great. It's hard wearing, etc., but it can be like quite cold if you're standing here in the wintertime, etc. It's not that warm. I noticed when I was standing working on the bikes, you really feel the heat being sucked out of you. So one of the regrets I have from when I was doing the shed was not properly painting or covering the floor. I did put a sealer down to help control dust, and that was great. But what really changed this space comfort-wise were these foam tiles from Halfords. Okay, now you'll see they go right around the lift, and they give yeah, just a nice, soft, insulated surface to walk on. Even kneeling down it is absolutely fine if you're getting low onto the bike. You don't want to mess around lifting it up. These were €20 for 6 in Halfords. So I bought 2 packs for 40 quid. I got 12 tiles. I actually have some tiles left over. They're buried there in the corner, the junk corner as I call it. But yeah, absolute game changer. If you've not properly sealed your floor or put something down to take some of the hardness of the concrete out of it, this makes your life just 10 times better. Just the comfort from being able to kneel at the drop of a hat, or even just walk and stand on. Like at the moment, there's just nothing coming to the floor. And I know you're gonna say, hey, this doesn't look like the Halfords tiles. It's not. Long story short, weird story actually. This is from a farming supply shop, and it's a sheet of, oh, it was recommended by our vet. It's rubber basically for calving shed, oh my God. It's the stuff they put down in sheds when cows have calves, and it's just comfort for them. It stops them getting cold, etc. And it's really quite thick. You'll see here. Yeah, our vet recommended it for our German Shepherd back years ago before he passed away, R.I.P. Digger. And again, I just had it spare. I said, rather than throw it out, I wanted to reuse it. So this came in here, and again, nice soft surface to stand on and work on. One thing I will shout out though is, it doesn't stand up very well to side stands, etc. Either the Halfords tiles or even this really thick, rubber stuff. Like you can see there, there's indents from the KTM, etc. But like, it's really not that bad. Like you can't even really feel that. But just if you're all about your appearance, you want to look as good as possible. Yeah, don't leave bikes on it long term. But yeah, other than that, great upgrade to the shed. Made things much easier. Made it a much nicer place to be, and a much nicer place to spend hours and hours working on. And finally, this is a bit of a strange one as well. This is a Caravan dehumidifier, right? And for the size of this thing, it's actually brilliant. So when you look around the shed is sealed and it is insulated, but there's no venting in here. And there doesn't really need to be. But the problem I was having is when the shed was erected and stuff, I had rust appearing on some of the tools that were exposed. And I'll give you an example. This is the pliers that I've never cleaned, right? But here is snips that I did give a quick brush to get the worst of the corrosion off of. And I did that like, I'd say I want to say 2 years ago, probably longer. And as you can see, like all that's left is what I was too lazy to clean off. It hasn't corroded back to the way it was. So for such a small unit, it's great when I bring like the KTM or the H2 or any of the bikes in here when it's been raining and they come in soaking wet, and they're going to be dropping water on the floors and on the foam. That's fine, a lot evaporate, but that moisture has to go somewhere. And rather than going on all the tools and stuff you have hanging out, this little dehumidifier does a fantastic job of hoovering up all that moisture. And then all it is, when it's finished, I'll leave it running overnight, pull out this little bucket and pour it out the drain outside. And then, yeah, it's all good. What else? That cost me, I got that secondhand actually off like a secondhand site. It cost me like 15 quid. I've looked them up. They're about 30, 35 euro. Very small money. And for a shed this size works perfectly. It's actually spec'd for bigger. Like I said, it's for caravans. So if you have any kind of problem with condensation or water in your shed, etc., yeah, strange one, but I definitely recommend a little dehumidifier. And that's it. That's 5 things under 50 euro you can buy for your motorbike shed, or even just your shed in general, that will make your life a much easier place. Now, the whole reason behind me doing this video was actually we're actually moving out of our house, so I am leaving the TED shed behind. It's not coming with me. There are bigger and better things coming, but you'll have to wait and see that in a future video. But yeah, I hope that this video was some help. It gave you some ideas. But if you have any tips or anything else you think I could add to a shed or the next space, please throw them down in the comments. I'd love to hear your ideas. I'm basically crowdsourcing ideas for the next, for TED Shed version 2.0. So I'd love to hear what you've got in your shed that has made your life a better place for very small money. So anything you have, please throw it down in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. So yeah, other than that, thanks very much for watching. If you're new around here and you like what you see, please do like and subscribe. It really helps the channel grow. Other than that, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.